Illuminating the Path, Black Women as the North Star of Society. Welcome, everyone, to this transformative journey we're about to embark on together. Today, we're delving into a conversation that has the power to reshape how we view ourselves, our communities, and our place in the world. I'm thrilled to share with you the profound insights I've gained from an extraordinary individual, Dr. Camille Valentine. Dr. Valentine isn't just a visionary thinker, she's a beacon of hope and a catalyst for change. Her work in empowering Black women has touched countless lives, sparking a revolution of self belief and societal transformation. Her words don't just inspire, they ignite a fire within us to reclaim our power and redefine our narratives. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever gazed up at the night sky, feeling overwhelmed by its vastness, questioning your place in this grand cosmic dance? It's a humbling experience, isn't it? But what if I told you that you, yes, you are not just a speck in that vastness, but a guiding light? What if I said that you, as a Black woman, are the North Star of our society? I can almost hear the skepticism. Me, the North Star, that's a bit much, isn't it? But stick with me here because this isn't just flowery language or motivational fluff. This is about recognizing a profound truth that's been hidden from us for far too long. Dr. Valentine's words echo in my mind. Black women are the North Star. We are not lost. We are the light. Let that sink in for a moment. We're not wandering aimlessly, searching for direction. We are the direction. We are the guiding light that others look to for hope, for inspiration, for the way forward. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. That sounds great and all, but my life doesn't feel very North Star-ish right now. Trust me, I get it. We've all had those days, heck, those years where we feel more like a flickering candle than a celestial beacon. But here's the thing. Even on your dimmest days, you're still shining. Your light might be obscured by clouds of doubt, shrouded by the fog of societal expectations, but it's there. It's always been there. Let me share a story with you. A few years ago, I met a young woman named Kira at a community center where I volunteer. Kira was 19, a single mother, working two jobs and struggling to make ends meet. She came to the center looking for resources, but what she found was so much more. One day during a group session, Kira broke down. She felt lost, overwhelmed, like she was drowning in responsibilities and expectations. The weight of her world seemed too heavy to bear. But as she shared her story, something remarkable happened. The other women in the room, all facing their own struggles, began to offer words of encouragement, practical advice, and heartfelt support. I watched as Kira's posture slowly changed. Her shoulders straightened, her chin lifted, and a spark ignited in her eyes. In that moment, surrounded by the strength and wisdom of her sisters, Kira realized she wasn't alone. She wasn't lost. She was part of a constellation of incredible women, each shining their light, guiding and supporting one another. This, my friends, is what Dr. Valentine means when she says we're the North Star. It's not about being perfect or having it all figured out. It's about recognizing the innate strength and wisdom within us and using that light to illuminate the path for ourselves and others. But here's the kicker. How many of us truly believe this about ourselves? How many of us wake up each morning, look in the mirror, and see a North Star staring back at us? If you're anything like me, or like many of the women I've spoken to, that level of self assurance might feel foreign, even uncomfortable. And that's exactly why we need to have this conversation. Because the truth is, we've been conditioned to doubt ourselves, to seek validation from others, to believe that our worth is somehow tied to external factors. We've been taught to dim our light, to make ourselves smaller, to not outshine others. But Dr. Valentine's message turns this notion on its head. She challenges us to recognize that our power, our purpose, our very essence is not something we need to seek outside ourselves. It's already within us, a birthright passed down through generations. Our ancestors didn't just survive, Dr. Valentine reminds us. They left us a divine roadmap. Think about that for a moment. The strength, the resilience, the wisdom that allowed our foremothers to endure unimaginable hardships. That's not just history, it's a legacy. It's a blueprint for greatness that runs through our veins. Let's take a moment to honor those who came before us. Close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Imagine a line of women stretching back through time. See their faces, some you might recognize, others lost to history. Feel the strength in their stance, the determination in their eyes. These women faced slavery, discrimination, violence, and yet they persevered. They fought, they loved, they created, they endured. And in doing so, they carved out a path for us. Now open your eyes. That strength, that resilience, that indomitable spirit, it's in you. It's in all of us. We are the living embodiment of our ancestors' wildest dreams. And when we embrace that truth, when we step into that power, we become unstoppable. But here's where it gets really interesting. Dr. Valentine posits that the challenge isn't finding our purpose, it's trusting that we were born to lead, heal, and elevate. Now, doesn't that shift the entire paradigm? We're not on a quest to discover who we are or what we're meant to do. We already know. Deep down, in the core of our being, we know. The real challenge is believing it, embracing it, and acting on it. This isn't about arrogance or superiority. It's about recognizing our inherent value and the unique gifts we bring to the world. It's about understanding that when we step into our power, we don't just elevate ourselves, we lift up our communities, our culture, our entire world. Let me give you another example. Meet Dr. Maya Thompson, a brilliant neurosurgeon I had the privilege of interviewing last year. Maya grew up in a low income neighborhood, raised by a single mother who worked 3 jobs to make ends meet. Despite the odds stacked against her, Maya excelled in school, earned scholarships, and pursued her dream of becoming a doctor. But it wasn't just about personal success for Maya. Throughout her journey, she mentored other young black girls interested in STEM fields. She volunteered at community health clinics. She used her voice to advocate for better healthcare access in underserved communities. When I asked Maya what drove her, her answer struck me. She said, I realized that my success wasn't just for me. Every time I walked into an operating room, I was walking in there for every black girl who'd been told she couldn't. Every life I saved was a testament to what we can achieve when we believe in ourselves. Maya understood something crucial, that her light, her success, her very presence in spaces where black women have historically been excluded was illuminating the path for others. She was quite literally being the North Star for her community. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, that's great for Maya, but I'm not a neurosurgeon. I'm not changing the world in such a visible way. But here's the thing, you don't have to perform brain surgery to be a guiding light. Your impact might look different, but it's no less significant. Maybe you're a teacher shaping young minds and showing your students what Black excellence looks like. Perhaps you're a small business owner creating jobs and building wealth in your community. You might be a stay-at-home mom, raising the next generation of leaders and change makers. Or maybe you're working a 9 to 5, showing up every day with dignity and grace in spaces that weren't designed for us. Whatever you do, wherever you are, you have the power to be a North Star. Your very existence, your resilience, your refusal to be diminished or defined by others, that's revolutionary. That's world changing. Dr. Valentine's words resonate with a truth that's both empowering and challenging. When we reclaim that truth, we stop seeking validation and start walking in our power. It's a simple statement, but the implications are profound. Think about how much time and energy we spend seeking approval, trying to fit into molds that were never designed for us, dimming our light so others won't feel threatened by our brilliance. But what if we stopped? What if we redirected all that energy into embracing our authentic selves, into nurturing our gifts, into walking boldly in the direction of our dreams? The transformation would be nothing short of revolutionary. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Easier said than done. And you're right. This isn't about flipping a switch and suddenly becoming immune to self-doubt or external criticism. It's a journey, a process of unlearning harmful narratives and reclaiming our true identity. But here's the beautiful thing. We don't have to do it alone. We have each other. We have the wisdom of women like Dr. Valentine, reminding us of our inherent worth. We have the strength of our ancestors cheering us on from beyond, and we have our own inner voice, that quiet but persistent whisper that says, you are meant for greatness. Let's talk about that inner voice for a moment. Dr. Valentine emphasized the importance of trusting our inner wisdom. In a world that's constantly bombarding us with messages about who we should be and how we should act, tuning into our own intuition can feel like a radical act, but it's essential. Think about a time when you knew deep in your gut what the right decision was, even if it didn't make logical sense, or a moment when you felt drawn to a particular path, even though it wasn't the conventional choice. That's your inner North Star guiding you. And the more we learn to trust it, the more confidently we can navigate our lives. But trusting our inner wisdom isn't just about making decisions, it's about recognizing our own value, independent of external validation. It's about understanding that we don't need permission to shine, to lead, to make an impact. We were born for this. Dr. Valentine's powerful affirmation encapsulates this perfectly. I am the North Star, divinely guided, powerful, and unstoppable. My path is clear. My purpose is sacred, and I trust the wisdom within me. I do not seek permission to shine. I was born to lead, to heal, and to rise. Imagine starting each day with this level of self assurance. Imagine walking into every room, every meeting, every interaction with the unshakable knowledge that you are exactly where you're meant to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do. How would that change the way you show up in the world? Let me share another story that illustrates the power of this mindset. I once met a woman named Aisha at a leadership conference. Aisha was the only Black woman in her tech startup, and she often felt out of place and undervalued. She confided that she was considering leaving the industry altogether. But something shifted for Aisha during that conference. As she listened to stories of other Black women who had faced similar challenges and triumphed, as she engaged in workshops about owning her power, something awakened within her. She realized that her presence in that company, in that industry, was not just about her career. It was about creating space for others who would come after her. Aisha returned to work with a new mindset. She started speaking up more in meetings, proposing innovative ideas, and mentoring junior employees of color. She even initiated conversations about diversity and inclusion with the company leadership. The change in Aisha was palpable. Her colleagues noticed her increased confidence and started seeking her input more often. Within a year, she was promoted to a leadership position. But more importantly, she had become a beacon for other underrepresented individuals in her company. She was living proof that they belonged, that their voices mattered, that they could succeed. Aisha's story is a powerful reminder of what can happen when we embrace our role as the North Star. When we shine our light boldly, unapologetically, we don't just illuminate our own path, we light the way for others. But let's be real for a moment. This level of self confidence doesn't come overnight. It's cultivated through practice, through conscious effort, through repeatedly choosing to believe in ourselves, even when the world tells us we shouldn't. It's about catching ourselves when we start to doubt, when we start to shrink, and gently but firmly reminding ourselves of our inherent worth. One practical way to do this is through daily affirmations. Now, I know some of you might be rolling your eyes at the idea. Affirmations can seem cheesy or ineffective if you're not used to them. But here's the thing, our brains are incredibly powerful, and they believe what we consistently tell them. By regularly affirming our worth, our power, our purpose, we're literally rewiring our neural pathways. Try this. Every morning before you do anything else, look in the mirror and say, I am the North Star. I am divinely guided, powerful, and unstoppable. Say it with conviction, even if you don't fully believe it yet. Say it until you feel it resonating in your bones. Over time, you'll start to notice a shift in how you perceive yourself and how you interact with the world. Another powerful practice is to connect with our ancestral wisdom. Dr. Valentine reminds us that our ancestors left us a divine roadmap. This isn't about living in the past, but about drawing strength and guidance from those who came before us. Take time to learn about the strong women in your family history. Reflect on the challenges they overcame, the wisdom they passed down. Allow their strength to fuel your own. But embracing our role as the North Star isn't just about personal empowerment. It's about recognizing the ripple effect we have on our communities and the world at large. When we step into our power, when we lead with confidence and authenticity, we create space for others to do the same. Think about the young girls watching us, looking to us for cues on how to navigate the world. When they see us standing tall, speaking our truth, pursuing our dreams without apology, it shows them what's possible. We become living, breathing examples of what it means to be a Black woman who knows her worth. And let's not forget the impact we have on our peers and even those who come after us. Every time we refuse to shrink ourselves, every time we speak up in a meeting, every time we pursue a goal that seems too big, we're not just advancing our own careers or dreams, we're chipping away at systemic barriers, we're changing perceptions, we're rewriting the narrative about what Black women can achieve. This is where the true power of Dr. Valentine's message lies. It's not just about individual empowerment, although that's certainly a crucial part of it. It's about collective elevation. It's about creating a world where every Black woman recognizes herself as the North Star she is. But here's the thing. This isn't just a feel-good message. It's a call to action. It's an invitation to step up, to show up, to rise up in ways we perhaps haven't before. Because knowing where the North Star is one thing, acting like it is another entirely. So what does it look like to truly embody this North Star energy in our daily lives? It means setting audacious goals and pursuing them relentlessly. It means speaking our truth even when our voice shakes. It means taking up space unapologetically, knowing that we belong in every room we enter. It means mentoring other women, lifting as we climb. It means celebrating our sisters' successes as if they were our own, because in a very real sense, they are. When one of us wins, we all win. It means taking care of ourselves, mind, body, and spirit, because you can't guide others if your own light is dimmed. Self-care isn't selfish. It's essential. It's how we keep our inner light burning bright. It means continually educating ourselves, staying curious, staying hungry for knowledge and growth. Because as Dr. Valentine reminds us, we were born to lead, to heal, and to elevate. And to do that effectively, we need to be lifelong learners. It means being willing to be uncomfortable. Growth doesn't happen in our comfort zones. Sometimes being the North Star means charting unknown territories, taking risks, being the first or the only. But remember, discomfort is not the same as danger. Discomfort is the feeling of your comfort zone expanding, of you becoming more of who you're meant to be. Now, I want to be clear. Embracing our role as the North Star doesn't mean we'll never face challenges or setbacks. We will. We'll have days when we doubt ourselves, when the weight of societal expectations feels crushing, when it seems easier to dim our light than to shine brightly, and that's okay. Being the North Star doesn't mean being perfect or unshakable. It means having the courage to keep shining, even when storms rage around us. In those moments of doubt or difficulty, remember Dr. Valentine's words. We are not lost. We are the light. Let that be your mantra. Let it remind you that your challenges don't define you. Your resilience in the face of them does. As we come to the close of our time together, I want to leave you with a challenge, a call to action that I hope will resonate in your hearts and minds long after you leave this room. Starting today, I want you to make a conscious decision to embrace your role as the North Star, not just for yourself, but for every Black woman who has ever doubted her worth, who has ever been told to shrink herself, who has ever felt lost in a world that often seems determined to extinguish her light. For the next 30 days, I challenge you to start each morning by looking in the mirror and declaring, I am the North Star. I am divinely guided, powerful, and unstoppable. Say it with conviction. Feel it in your bones. Then go out into the world and act accordingly. Lead with confidence, even when you're scared. Speak your truth, even when your voice shakes. Pursue your dreams unapologetically, even when others don't understand. Be the light that guides others, even on the days when your own path seems unclear. But don't stop there. I want you to seek out opportunities to uplift other Black women, mentor a young girl in your community, support a Black-owned business, amplify the voices of Black women in your workplace, create spaces where we can come together, share our stories, and remind each other of our collective power. And as you do this, pay attention to how it changes you. Notice how it affects your interactions, your decisions, your sense of self. Because here's the thing, when we truly embrace our role as the North Star, we don't just change ourselves. We change the world around us. Remember, you are not just any star in the vast universe. You are the North Star, constant, bright, and guiding. Your light has the power to illuminate paths, to inspire journeys, to change lives. So shine brightly without fear or hesitation. The world is waiting for your light. As you leave here today, carry with you the words of Dr. Valentine, the strength of our ancestors, and the knowledge of your own innate power. You are the North Star. You are the light, and together we will illuminate the path to a brighter, more just, more beautiful world. Thank you.